Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Excuse me, so sorry. That was not supposed to happen like that. Jesus. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Sports Senseis. So sorry, I had to sneeze at the most inopportune time. So that there we go with that. But it's Monday, so that's what happens on Mondays. So I got my girl, of course, Jay Nicole in the house. Hey. What's going on, sis? How are you?
I'm doing good. It's Valentine's Day. I got my Valentine's Day ready here. I'm doing a throwback to 2019 San Antonio Commanders, right? I know the Washington football just took our name, and like people at San Antonio was like, "Hey, we'll always be the original Commanders." Woo woo woo. So I was like, "Let me get my Valentine's Day red and throw, the Commanders up, shout them out,
Definitely got to rep the home team. Definitely got to rep the home team. We missed a week last week, but we are back this week to give you all the news and all the things that you've been looking for. Our good sis Ruth isn't here right now because she is stuck at the airport, so we are going to hold it down for her until she's able to hop until Monday, or if she's able to hop on, we'll see. But so anyway, without further ado, let's jump right in.
Yes.
The Super Bowl was yesterday.
Woo!
What a game! What a game! What a game! It came down to the wire. We again, as fans, were spoiled. The ending score ended up being 23-20 Rams. Aaron Donald got the last sack on Joe Burrow to solidify that. Odell got hurt, but they were still able to pull off the win and get a Super Bowl ring for him and for the city of Los Angeles, the city of angels. So sis, what was first of all, how was the game for you? Because I know you kind of conflicted because you were rooting for Cincy, but they knocked your squad out, so then it was like that whole dynamic and things of that nature. So what was the game like for you, and what did you take away from it?
Right. So I had crushing on Joey Cool, right? He a crush.
Joey Cool, yeah.
Crush. So like I seeing the Bengals do what they do, and nobody expected them to make it this far, so you're rooting for them. But then when they play against my team and you beat my team, so the team that beat my team is now my enemy. So sorry, Joey Cool, you can't win a Super Bowl. And let me just say though, I think Cooper Kupp might be my new crush.
And hey, listen, Cooper Kupp be fresh. He be fresh.
Nice, the vanilla. No, but in all seriousness, clearly the Rams mortgaged the house, right? They gave away all their number one picks. They got Von Miller. They got OBJ. You got Aaron Donald. You got Jalen Ramsey. Went to go get Stafford. Stafford trying to pull a Tom Brady, and because I thought Stafford was washed, right? So. Watching it, I got a little scared. I said, "Come on!" I said, "I actually wanted the Rams to beat the brakes off the Bengals." They didn't do that, but it was I said, "Okay, we got time." But I'm like, "Don't give Joey Cool too much time." And then Aaron Donald, baby, came up with that. Like he actually stopped that one play when it was the third and right. The third and one, and then he Joey Cool, and I just was like, "Baby, he." Wanted it, okay? Because when they just beat who did they beat this last? Who did the Rams just beat to get in the Super Bowl?
The 49ers.
49ers. Okay, I just beat the 49ers. And I'm sorry, Aaron Donald was like, I'm like, we coming for it. We coming for it. OBJ, baby, you scored the first touchdown. The emotion, right? His tear, like to get hurt like that, just doing a football move and just tweaked and right, and you're like, oh my gosh. But I wanted the Rams to win this. Joey Cool, y'all be back. Y'all put up a big game. Like I have predicted the score to be 28-17. So if to come down to 20-23, you know what I'm saying? The Rams kept it close. I thought the Rams had enough firepower that they would but the Bengals came to play. Joey Cool sacked 7 times. So the defense of the Rams was on it. But Chase had some big plays. Hey, what about was it Mixon or T. Higgins that threw that touchdown pass. You know what I'm saying? When we would look, it was lit. I enjoyed that Super Bowl. To get super hyped up at the end, it was just a beautiful thing. Oh no, it was Joe Mixon who threw a touchdown for TD that he threw to T. Higgins. So again, just a great game overall. Like, I think we definitely got what we wanted in the Super Bowl after last year. Not if you want to say what do we want to say happened with last year? Last year's Super Bowl, it definitely didn't hold up what it was. Bucks with Chiefs, and our offensive line, the Chiefs offensive line didn't hold up. So to see like an actual close game, we thought, Super Bowl last year was going to be right, and it didn't live up to it. But the Bengals and Rams put on a show. I loved every moment of it, all to the last second. The pass interference calls or the holding or whatever. Like, what a game! Because hey, they missed that. T. Higgins had Jalen Ramsey helmet. I was going to say he literally turned on boy.
Yes, yeah, his whole head. Yeah.
So I think I feel like the calls were legit. The holding and the pass interference, those were legit. Right there, then they were legit. But I definitely think to make them so close, because sometimes refs feel like, we don't want to decide the game like that. When look, y'all blew that coverage, you know what I'm saying, before you blew that call. So, but yeah, wonderful Super Bowl, great Super Bowl. I hope to see Joey Cool back no time soon though, because my Chiefs coming back for it next year. But yeah, good job Rams. I think they should this is one and done. Great job Sean McVay being is he the youngest coach to win a Super Bowl? Right? So congrats to him, but I don't want to see the Rams win another Super Bowl. Y'all can get this one. Let's see who's in NFC. Well, hey, as long as my Chiefs, I'll play the Rams next year if that's what we're gonna do, because we're gonna be in Vegas. But yeah, what did you think, sis? What did you take away from this game?
Honestly, so yeah, I wanted the Rams to win as well because I wanted OBJ to win. I'm a big fan of OBJ, and I feel like he definitely deserved that moment. I was so hurt that he got hurt. And I could only imagine that was what was going through his mind at that time. Like, you finally get a chance to taste the Super Bowl, and then you get hurt so early in the game. And he was killing too before he got hurt. Like, he was going crazy. So I mean, that was cool to me. I think I had the Rams winning because I knew it was going to come down to the Bengals O-line versus the Rams defense. Yeah. And I knew that the Rams defense was gonna win that battle because, I mean, Joey Cool got sacked 7 times in this game, but over the course of the season, Joey Cool been sacked 70 times.
Was he tied with somebody for the most sacks?
Yeah, I think so. So this is like a theme, you know what I'm saying, unfortunately for them. And I mean, Joe Burrow is an excellent talent. I mean, an incredible quarterback to be so young. He's so fearless, so poised. Him and Jamar Chase are going to be making noise for years to come. But if they're going to keep Joey Cool upright, if they're going to keep Joey Cool in tip-top shape, they're going to have to adjust that situation on the O-line because he's not going to survive playing like that. That's way too much wear and tear on your body, and he's only one, you know what I'm saying? He's only one guy, and eventually he's going to break down, and I just would hate to see him break down earlier than what he would have to, based off the strength that they can't protect him. So they got to get him some protection, definitely. But I was happy for the Rams. I was happy for Von Miller as well. Because he kind of was in the same boat as OBJ. A lot of people thought he was washed up and kind of was throwing dirt on his name, and he just wasn't in a good situation. And then obviously you see him go from the Broncos to the Rams, and just how much of an effect he's had on that team and on that defense, and kind of being an anchor to Aaron Donald. But it was a dope game. It was an incredible halftime show, of course, and it was really nice to see the Rams win, and they were at home, and just, I mean, so many things went right for them, and I'm just super happy for them, and I definitely salute them going forward. Like I said, Joey Cool got to get some protection if they ever gonna make another run at the Super Bowl, or else it's not gonna be good for him. Now, one of the big stories in this Super Bowl is Odell possibly tore his ACL again on the same knee that he tore it before. And he's expected to try to reconstruct his contract to come back with the Rams. Do you think that the Rams is pretty much like a solid fit for him? Like, is that somewhere he needs to be sure to stay at, or should he test his luck in free agency and see if he can get something else? Or what do you think?
Stick with the team that just got you a Super Bowl that you contribute to because you made the first touchdown. Here's the thing: OBJ is high and flashy and high life and everything like that. So you go to a big city, right? You play for New York, right? But then you go to Cleveland, like, right? And people thought OBJ was washed, right? It was like,
Yeah.
he was, what happened to the catch all the way back here and all.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro, where you at, right? Because that was New York, right?
Yeah, that was his signature. Yep.
Exactly. So coming to La La Land, right? You live in Cali. I lived in Cali. We know what Cali do. I lived in LA, so I already know.
Yeah. Man, it's
perfect fit for him to be in that big market. Clearly, he's not washed. He showed what he could do. Again, first touchdown of the Super Bowl that he did. You know what I'm saying? So I just hopefully that gets all healed up and he good. Praying for him or whatever. And yeah, I think he stays there. I think he sees what they do. I don't he's OBJ. The money, you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. He could be like, hey, I already got my Super Bowl. I'm good. I'll just go whoever wants to pay me, because sometimes that's what they do. Because now that he does have his first Super Bowl, and he actually did, he got hurt, but he played in it again, first touchdown. So, but I think he should stay in La La Land. I think it's a good fit for him, his personality, his persona, everything that represents OBJ with the purple hair. I said, where the blonde tips? But you want to go purple or lilac or whatever that was. But I think La La Land is where he should stay.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree. I think I was talking to somebody about this earlier, and I was just like, I don't think he necessarily cares about the money, because, like you said, he's OBJ. Like, he's got plenty of money. Like, he's made a few bags. You know what I'm saying? At this particular place. So and then, like I said, endorsements as well. Like, he does. So I don't think he's really pressed for money. I think he wants to be in a situation where he's comfortable, where he can, be put in place where he can be effective. And I think it doesn't get any better than Sean McVay and that offense, and the Rams organization for OBJ. Like, for a guy with like him and his skill set, he's got to be in an offense like that, in my personal opinion. So I definitely think because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he mentioned that he would take the minimum to come back. So I think he's already in that mindset of thinking anyway. Yeah. So I definitely agree, sis. I definitely think that OBJ should certainly stay with the Rams here. Now we're going to, let's see here. So we're gonna we haven't really been able to talk hoops much, just because the NFL and just everything that's been going on with that. Like, the playoffs was running rampant, and then it was just good game after good game after good game. So that was kind of our focus. But now we're able to shift to the NBA a little bit, and I want to talk to you about so the recent trade with James Harden and Philadelphia. So as we all know, James Harden has left Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Nets has left Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant high and dry, and went to go join the Philadelphia 76ers with Joel Embiid, trading for one disgruntled Ben Simmons, sending him to New York to play with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I did see some footage earlier of Ben Simmons in Brooklyn, actually on the court with the basketball in hand, which is something we have not seen in a very long time, it seems. So what do you think about just that whole trade, that whole situation? Like, who do you think won the trade? Like, what's your thoughts?
James Harden, boy, go sit down somewhere, bro. I didn't like how he left Houston. Let me first say that. I thought that was whack. I thought when he came back, he was out of shape and he didn't want to play. Like, anybody who does it, like, play hard for your team. You know what I'm saying? Even if you want to leave, like, give it all. You're still a professional athlete. You can pay all this money. Play hard for your team. So I didn't like how he left them, because he clearly is chasing the championship. Go over with Kevin Durant and Kyrie. All three of them were never healthy together. They played a handful of games. You know what I mean? Him and Kyrie they got into it, and that's what really set up in. And I was like, dude, Kyrie always on some other stuff too. So I felt like both of their egos. And I mean, when there was talks of like, hey, trading Kyrie because, hey, we got Harden, we got, Durant, like, Kyrie, you good, but you ain't. Personally, I don't think when Harden is at his peak, when he's playing his best, he's better than Kyrie. That, in my opinion, when he really got his top notch. Now his slack, you know what I mean? He don't guard people. He stopped getting all the ticky-tack fouls that he was getting. So he getting all, you know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, you can't jump your body into somebody and then you want the foul. They ain't giving you that no more, right? So either way, I feel like he had to go. There's too many ego. Like, I'm gonna just say what it is. All three of them, Durant. Don't get me started. I am not Brooklyn Nets. No, over here. I think Durant's a punk. Anytime you go to a 73-9 team after you was 3 up OKC, you a punk for sorry. So all his Twitter feuds with fans and stuff, bro, go sit down. Stop. Yeah. And then Kyrie, we talked about this earlier, right? And it's like, do you really want to play? You moved on from basketball. You want to get all that stuff. Then so all three of them, like, really, like, I guess eventually it was gonna implode. And so, okay, cool, bye, off to you. Okay, cool, go play with 76ers. You ain't gonna win a championship with them, no. I mean, Joel Embiid, like, I don't know. I still think, who can come out? I still think Milwaukee might come out of it again. Bulls looking right, So I don't know. Like, it was like, yeah, you had a better chance with the Nets to win a championship, but if y'all can't get along, then yeah, you out, right? Ben Simmons, we've been up and down. I mean, at some point I was like, hey, was Ben coming to Spurs? People want him. I think he needed a fresh start, period. So I think he could, come to the Nets and be useful. So I'm going to go with that. He needed to get out of the 76ers, all that bad blood. He just needed a new team. So I think he, hopefully he's been working on his jump shot. And, hopefully he can to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, so I agree. I think the whole thing with James Harden, I never thought that it was a good fit for him in Brooklyn in the first place. I felt like it was an easy fix because he wanted, like you said, he didn't want to be in Houston. He made that abundantly clear. He, wasn't showing any. He showed up to the season out of shape, wasn't giving much effort. Kind of powdered his way pretty much out of Houston is pretty much the way it kind of went. And I never agreed with that either. But I'm also under the imagination, like I never really give players flack too bad as far as when in a certain situation, just because I feel like teams and GMs, coaches and things of that nature, they'll rid a player just as quick. So it's like I can't really all the way mad at play being like, I want to get out of here, make this as immediate as possible, because if the Fox, they're going to do the same thing once they feel like you're no longer of value to them. So because in that situation, obviously, but I wasn't necessarily mad that he wanted out. I mean, like I said, I just wish he could have handled it better. But anyway, being in Brooklyn, like I said, that never made that. I knew that situation was going to be short-lived, because you have 3 guys who are very egotistical in their own way, and when you mesh that together, it's a recipe for disaster. Basically, like James Harden, he wants it to be about him. Kyrie, in a sense, wants it to be about him. KD the same way. Like I'll give KD this, that he's a little less, he's less selfish than the other 2, but in the sense he still wants to get his. So I knew at some point that was going to be a clash, on top of the fact that Kyrie, you just never know what kind of Kyrie you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you just factor that in as well. And then James Harden not getting the calls that he once got for, and then kind of not what he was promised not really happening the way that it was promised to him, because I'm sure if you would have asked him prior to coming to Brooklyn if it would have transpired like this, he probably would have been like no, or he probably wouldn't even pull the trigger on going to Brooklyn. Like he probably would have just stayed in Houston until he could have found a better situation. And honestly, he wanted to go to Philly in the first place anyway, because the old GM from the Rockets is currently the GM of Philly right now. So he was already trying to get there in the first place. But like I said, I think if he would have told him everything was going to transpire the way it did, in Brooklyn, I think he would have pushed more to go to the Sixers in the first place. I think that Philly makes more sense for the kind of player James is and what he wants to do. So he won in that sense. But I think if you're looking at totality and just team success and as far as what their projection going forward after this is, I think Brooklyn wins because, and Ben Simmons, granted, he's not a shooter. We've all established this, but at what he is good at plays to Kevin Durant's strength and Kyrie Irving's strength, because now Kyrie doesn't have to be the point guard. He can play off ball. He can be more of a shooting guard, which naturally Kyrie's more of a shooting guard than he is a point guard. And then you have Kevin Durant, who obviously he doesn't need assistance getting a bucket. But if you know what I'm saying, he has a point guard like somebody who can pass as well as Ben Simmons, that makes life a world easier for him, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he doesn't need that, but it definitely helps. And then you have a defensive anchor in Ben Simmons, because he is a former first team all defense. So that helps them as well, because then the Nets can't stop nobody. And then you have, you know what I'm saying, you add James Harden. That's the icing on the cake right there. Like anybody's gonna get, gonna have a field day against the Brooklyn Nets defense. But now they can totally reconstruct that defense and center it around Ben Simmons pretty much being the anchor. And I think that's definitely an advantage for them as well. So I think in its totality, I think Brooklyn won this trade. But like I said, for James as a personal happiness, he fares a lot better in Philly with that situation. Now the question is, because he's had other co-stars, being on his team before, and he's always either left or got rid of him. So it's like, are him and Embiid going to be able to be on the same page? Like, are they going to be able to work? Because, Joel couldn't make it. He couldn't make it work with Ben Simmons, which isn't all his fault in my opinion. But, nonetheless, that situation did crumble. And then, we know James Harden's track history. So what do you think, Larry? Do you think that that's something that they can kind of put their egos aside to make it work? Or is it going to be another disaster waiting to happen?
All these egos, right? These NBA stars and their egos. James Harden. I actually think Embiid can be better than James. You saw James Harden get into it with Chris Paul when the Rockets were good and they had a chance. They could have beat the Warriors. Unfortunately, Chris Paul got hurt. They were up. So I think seeing them get into it on the sidelines, to me, it's more James Harden. I think Embiid will be able to hold it together. I'm hearing talks of Embiid for MVP. He's having an excellent season, right? So I think it's really Harden kind of coming in, because to me, this is Embiid's team. This is not your team. And so you need to come in and say, hey, how can I fit? How can I be of assistance? I am a top player. I would say when he's at his best, I would definitely put him in the top 10 of players in the NBA right now. But you got to go in, put your ego to the side, because you come into Joel Embiid's team. Again, he's having an MVP type season. So you got to see how you fit in and how you get in. Right. And so that's really my thought on that. So I hope that he can, go ahead and do that. And we can, see that going.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I was like, hey, we got some people in the chat. People in the chat.
We got some love going on. But yeah, I agree, sis. I definitely think that James has to be the one to make the sacrifice, in my opinion, because like you said, it's Joel Embiid's team at this point. It's been Joel Embiid's point. And Joel Embiid's team up until this point, because of the whole Ben Simmons drama. So he's accustomed to everything kind of running through him. So, and they've been pretty successful at it so far. So you got to continue kind of that trajectory, because you don't want to come in and disrupt that. And then, like I said, you made all this fuss to get out. So it's like you gotta be the one to humble yourself and to fit in and to make it work, because like I said, you made all this noise. Like you were the one who said, I don't want to be here anymore. It's pretty from reports, from Windhorse, he was pretty much saying James was telling anybody that would listen, get me out of here. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. So now that you got what you wanted again for the umpteenth time, you gotta be like I said, you gotta be the one to humble yourself, because this is Joel Embiid's team. This is his franchise. They're pretty much, they put all their eggs in that basket and said, we're gonna try to find you something to compliment you, because obviously this situation with Ben Simmons isn't working anymore. But Also, on the flip side for Ben Simmons, he kind of is under the same expectation as well, because he did the same thing. Disgruntled, wanted to get out of Philly, kicking and screaming, didn't want to play, didn't even show his face in Philly. Do you understand? Like, you know how fed up you have to be like, you know what?
I ain't even gonna show my face.
We haven't. I forgot what Ben Simmons looked like until I saw him today. I was like, man, I feel like I haven't seen this dude in I don't even know how long.
Like,
do you know? Like literally, do you know how just over it you have to be like, I'm not even showing my face until I am out of this, off this team, out of this city. Like, so many things. So, go ahead, sis.
No, I'm so sorry. Good. No. Yeah, no. Ben where? Like, I forgot about him, right?
Literally a lost start.
I didn't even know. Then I was all of a sudden like, oh, you getting traded? Like, I had to look. Well, when ASAP like broke that, when I saw I had to look, I was like, wait, what happened? Who did it? What happened? Mm-hmm. Right? And so I'm like, okay, babe, you still want to play basketball? I didn't even
right.
I have to that's the whole game, right? But here he is, and so but like I said, to me, like, he just needed a fresh start wherever he was gonna go. And again,
absolutely.
How can you fit in the team? How can you be best assistants? You just got to come in like that. This is their team. You were already suspect. You know what I'm saying? How they fell apart last year in the playoffs, and him not taking shots and this and stuff. Like, bro, like, what you doing in the summer? Work on your jump shot, bro. Work on your 3-point. Work on everything. Work on your whole game. So it's like, if you're a professional athlete and you don't take this serious, you got clear flaws in your game, and you're not stepping up to correct that, you making all this money. This is your craft. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be the best at it, and you're getting paid a lot of money to be the best at it. So, real quick, Mike's comment that put me at the 2. He said, at this point, I'm like, tell him to put you in, bro. Tell him to put you in.
Pretty much. Thanks, Freddie. We appreciate you. Happy Valentine's Day to you too.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day.
But I feel Mike at this point, like, let me get a 10-day contract.
Hey. I'm gonna just say
all these people that don't want to play and don't want to be here and don't want to that. Listen, let me make millions by throwing the ball in the net, please.
Hey, come on. Here, look. I said, you can't believe it or not, I thought I was gonna be the first woman in the NBA. I was playing with all the neighborhood boys, whooping them. But I was like, it's really weird. I only played like in 8th grade, like on an actual team. And then freshman year of high school, my homegirl, we played in 8th grade together. She took me to the conditioning. I was like, nah, I can't do all these suicides. Y'all trying to do too much right now.
Yeah, I played up until like on a team. I played up until like my junior year of high school.
Okay.
And then I still play for fun now. Like, I you know what I'm saying? So I still play. But yeah. I mean, like I said, let me get a quick little 10 days or something. Like,
the follow through. The follow through is so, it's still there. It's there.
It's like riding a bike. You never forget, man.
Come on.
So many times you never forget. But come on. I mean, I'm interested to see how both of these trades work for both of these teams, and just the remainder of the NBA season, really, because I mean, it's been shaken up a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. Speaking of NBA teams and NBA things, this pains me to even talk about, but we have to talk about it because it is a subject. The Lakers of Los Angeles and one Russell Westbrook. Now, let me just preface this by saying this: I am a fan of Russ. Okay. I've always liked Russ. Okay. I've always appreciated Russ and respected Russ for the person that he at least presents himself to be on and off the court. He is definitely a philanthropist, things of that nature. He does things for the community, as a dad, as a husband, all these wonderful things. I want to make sure I get all the good stuff out first.
All the good stuff.
So, all these wonderful things. And, he is Mr. Triple-Double. He's averaged that at least 4 out of 5 years, which is insane to think about. And for him to be a point guard, like, utterly ridiculous. However, what I've always said about Russ, is that his greatest strength is also his greatest weakness.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is that Russ plays so hard, like so hard. So how to turn it off or how to slow down. Like it's premium octane. It's 0 to 100 or it's nothing. Like it's there's no in between. There's no gray area. It's just one extreme to the next. And if you have the skill set that can match kind of production or that's just that kind of game in general. Like let's take LeBron for instance, really quick. LeBron's big, strong, fast, but LeBron can also think the game. Like it's not just I gotta go 100 miles per hour like he understands. Like sometimes I don't need to have my foot on the gas. Like so it's okay, you know what I'm saying, sometimes to pull back or to set up my teammates, or if I don't gotta go in, let me try to affect the game in other areas. Russ has never been that self-aware to know that about himself and to know to shut that off. He just isn't. Like that's just not, it's not a part of his DNA, a part of his makeup. So I wasn't excited about the trade in the first place in the beginning when they first announced that we got Russ. Like I wasn't one of those, oh, we definitely win it, we got Russ. Listen, I love Russ. Okay. I want to make sure I make this clear. I love Russ.
Russ, I love you. Russ, I love you.
Literally. But however, when it comes to winning, when it comes to the deciding factor between winning and losing and being a contender and being able to contend for a championship, Russ has not and never will be the missing piece or the piece that's going to take you over to the next level. His game is just not made for that. He's made for excitement. He's made for stats. He's made for jump off the screen at you. Like he's made for that. Like he's a perfectionist at that. But when it comes to deciding between winning and losing, look at all the people he's played with and look how successful they've been since they left. Or since he's left. What are your thoughts, sis?
Russ, you know, you want to see like, hey, let's get the big three because Russell Westbrook is that caliber player. Like you said, he has one mode and that's go 1,000 miles per hour, and he plays so hard, and that's what I love about him. He leaves it all on the court every night. Mr. Triple Double, he did, you know. But it's like, bro, you playing so hard, but your shots ain't going in. You playing so hard, but you ain't working on your free throws or your 3-pointers or your jump. Like, bro, you know what I mean? Like it hurts my heart that in big plays you getting set. You Russell Westbrook. You get right now you getting paid more money than LeBron James and AD for this year. You know what I'm saying? Because of the contract he had already had you know, going back to Washington and going back to Houston. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of crazy because you are Russell Westbrook, but in the last moments of the game, they don't want you. They don't want you. Like, bro, sit down. We don't think you're the best person to help us win. And that's upsetting. Like, I know I was like, I'm a Lakers fan. LA all day, baby. King James, LeBron fan. So when he came, you know what I'm saying? But like the addition with him is like, Russ, we don't know what we get with you. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's happening with you. It's unfortunate, you know, like you couldn't be just a piece, and you know, you've had other stuff with your teammates and stuff not working out and this, that, the third. Like I for sure thought last year when he went to the Washington that you know, like they got into the playing game, but then they got banged, you know. It was like, bro, I thought you at least like, oh, you're gonna make them relevant because Russell Westbrook on your team, but it's just, I don't know. He's a good player, but he's not a good player on a team. I don't even know what to say.
yeah, like it's the most complex. He's like the most complex superstar to really talk about and like classify or put in a class, because it's like he's so great, but he's so bad at the same time. Like he's, you know, it's the point where people are letting him shoot. Like I've literally watched so many plays where he gets the ball outside of like a 5, 10, 15-foot jump shot, and people are just, they don't even like, they don't run at him. There's no challenge. There's no contest. They're like, we just go like, he's at this point, he's the start of a fast break for the opposing team, because when he shoots, it's going long. So all you got to do is be an outlet, and then that's a quick deuce. Like it's just, it's the most frustrating thing to me because like he has potential to be so great, and he's like I said, it's just the mental part of it that hinders everything else, because people don't realize like the mental and the physical go hand in hand as it pertains to basketball, like to any sport really, but especially basketball. Like basketball is definitely very IQ driven. Like you have to think things and see things before they happen. So and the fact that he's never mastered that skill or even tried to attempt to add that skill as a part of his game, and it's just like I said, it's so sad because he's so great.
He's
like
Russell Westbrook.
He's won an MVP. He's been to the finals. Like, so this is not a second string. Like, we're not talking about a 3-and-D guy. Like, we're talking about a superstar talent.
Yeah.
Who just can't seem to. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
It's like, do you retire? How many years he been in the league?
Yeah, like he's been.
You got triple-double.
I want to say he came to OKC after KD. I want to say KD was there first, right, but I know I think
KD was when it was still Supersonics. So,
yeah, but I don't think he was on the Supersonics team. I think he came when they moved to OKC. I don't think. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I think he literally. I think he got there Supersonics, and then they literally
Yeah, somebody in the comments either Google it or message me or something, because I can't remember, but I know he came like a year or two, maybe 3, somewhere in there after KD. So and it's. I mean, and I think KD is on year like 13 or 14 at this point, so he's somewhere in there. But yeah, it's just like I don't even know, like, because at this point, he's what, 32? I think 31 or 32.
He's 33.
Okay, so he's 33. Like he's not. His game's not gonna change. Like it's gonna be what it is.
No. So here goes the thing. He was selected by the Seattle Supersonics. He was He was round 1, pick number 4 overall, and he's been since 2008. But I think right when he came in, that's when they
were moving. Okay,
right. It says 2008, 2019, Oklahoma City Thunder. Right, 1 year Rockets, 1 year Wizards, and now he with the Lakers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, his game is not gonna change. Like he's 33. It's gonna be what it is. And the worst part of it is that the majority of his game is predicated off athleticism, which is already starting to decline. So once it's completely gone, bro.
Russell, we love you, but we don't love you for the game. I don't love you anymore. We love you, but we love you.
Yeah. No, literally, like I said, it pains me to even talk about him in this way, because I really am a fan of Russ. Like anybody, like I've always liked and respected Russ. Like I've always, because he reminded me a lot of D Rose. Like it was like him and D Rose at one point for me. Like for who would you rather have? And even the conversation as far as like prime, like both of those guys were incredible in their prime. But I don't know, man. I don't know, but I know you got to go, sis. So I won't keep you too much longer. Make sure y'all check out my good sis, Sports by the Numbers. Right after this, she's on her way to the studio. She's about to put it down.
Yes.
Let them know, sis. Talk to them.
8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are part of the ASAP Network too, so we'll be streaming live on Twitter, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. So check us out. It's our Valentine's Day episode, so we're gonna talk about our when we fell in love, a sports time we fell in love.
Oh man,
time we got our heart broken. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. So we turn up. You guys see, I got my Valentine's Day red, bringing it back to the Commanders.
We need to talk about that one day. Like as far as like, when was the first time you got your heart broken by sport? Like, what was your first sports heartbreak?
Yes, we will.
I have so many.
It's the month of love. It's Black History Month. Like we got 2 more weeks in this month. Like we're gonna get to it. We can talk about that. So real quick, like, hey, Valentine's Day was last Monday. Tell us, let's get into it. Let's just because I might cry tonight on my show. I might shed some tears, some hurt, some pain. But we do what we do. So guys, keep it locked. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be live on ASAP. We'll be live on ASAP, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So we will see y'all soon.
Check my girl out, man. Shout out to our good sis Ruth. She wanted to make it really bad. But like I said, she was stuck at the airport, so unfortunately she wasn't able to hop on the show today with us.
real quick before we go out, shout out to you, Sensei. Who did you interview for the Super Bowl? Tell him, sis.
Van Jefferson, Super Bowl champion and new father. So shout out to him because he had a baby.
Yeah, he had to rush, right? They won.
He had to rush, yeah. So, but yes, shout out to ASAP, shout out to Van Jefferson for answering my question. That was a really, really dope experience. So, and ASAP for making that happen for me. It still hasn't clicked in all the way yet. I still haven't come down from the high. Yeah, like it's still every time I've watched it 1,080,000 times. All at the same time, and it still doesn't you know what I mean? But thank you, man. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that.
Yes. I already had the respect on your name, but when you posted that, what we about to see? What we about to see from my girl, sis?
Hey, man, sometimes you gotta talk that talk and let them know, man.
Let's go, baby.
You gotta pop your own, man. You gotta pop your own collar sometimes, you know? Yeah, you gotta pop your own collar sometimes, man. Pat yourself on the back. It's good. It's good for your mental health, I promise you.
It is. Big ups, yo. All right, we're going to get out of here. We're going to see y'all next Monday. You know the time.
Sports Senseis.
Bye.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Making the plays, you talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information, hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces.